The only thing that saved this place is when you drove in, did you see where there's no grass right there?
Right.
I just had that dirt work down there, would have got it. I went around it. I knew when I seen the wind was blowing, I seen it coming all the way there. I started yelling to the dog. I knew it was,
It's go time.
No, I didn't even have a shirt on. I was in the yard. I ran, and the time the sheriffs came and kicked everybody out, I thought it was all gone.
We burnt up one of our patrol cars trying to get in to evacuate people. They were yelling for help on the radio, and everybody heard it. But there was nothing we could do about it because they were inside the smoke, so we had helicopters up, but they couldn't see where they were at. They couldn't get to them. Nobody else could drive to get to them because they were in the middle of the fire. And so I honestly thought I was listening to the deputies burn up. Because they're screaming for help over the radio. It was terrible. Yeah. So,
I had no idea it was that close to the call.
It was.
So growing up in Idaho, we are, as kids, taught about fire safety. I mean, Idahoans, this is what we deal with. We deal with forest fires. We live in a state that deals with forest fires. I had been keeping my finger on the pulse of the Orofino fires when they started breaking out, and we had not had fires like this in Orofino for a very long time. In fact, I don't remember ever having them this devastating. And this is my hometown, so I was really keeping my finger on the pulse of this as it was unfolding, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. I was between two trips when I got the call that, hey, Christy, it's really gotten bad in Orofino. There are 13 families who have lost homes, multiple outbuildings, farm equipment, cars, vehicles, ATVs. People have lost their homes from the Orofino fires. It's really gotten bad. I thought, what can I do? Because we can all do something. There's always a way to help. And when I heard about the 13 families that had completely lost their home, that could have been me growing up. So I knew I needed to do something. I could definitely help by raising money. I could definitely help by raising awareness of the 4-H auction.
On that nice little hog there. All right, so let's sell it, okay? All right. Yeah, get him moving, right? On him there, just give me $3 on him at 3 minutes, $3 on him at 3, yeah, 325, minutes 25, minutes 325, minutes 325, make it now. Or 325 now, 350, that's 350, minutes 350, minutes 350, minutes 350, minutes 350, minutes 350, minutes 350, I'm at 325 there now, 350 now, 375, now 375, minutes 75, minutes 75,
That's better stand up.
375 now, 4, $4, minute 4, $4, minute 4, $4,
Now, you guys know the 4-H is near and dear to my heart. If you remember my documentary back in 2017, and I knew that because of COVID and because of the fact that the fair was canceled this year, there weren't going to be a lot of people.
4.5. I'm at 425. Helper out here. I'm at 425. Go 4.5.
There's a lot of these animals that need to be sold, and not a whole lot of people that can fork out that kind of money. So I knew that I could raise awareness, so immediately I started posting on social media, hey, I'm going to be in Orofino. I'm going to be buying 4-H livestock. I'm going to be raising the awareness of the devastation these fires have caused, and I'm going to ultimately be raising money for these families.
Number 48, is that right?
Good job, yeah.
Oh, Ray gets it there. Thank you very much. 48.
Good job, Isabel.
Jeremiah Grimshaw here. With the 300.
You're welcome. Can I get a picture with you? Good job.
Fury Concrete.
Oh, that's really sweet of us. I'm really proud of you. Good job out there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'll talk to you soon. Maybe I'll say goodbye to you before I go. Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay, bye. As I remember, it just feels like yesterday where I was nervous that maybe no one would buy my pig. And it is a nerve-wracking feeling, thinking, really? Like nobody's bidding. And I just did not want to see these kids go through that. Being that we are in the middle of COVID, nobody's really wanting to come out, and people don't have the kind of disposable income that maybe they had at a different part of the year. I was nervous for these kids.
and a $5 bill, and a 5, and a 5, and a 5.25, a 5.25, a 5.50, and 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 a 5.50, I'm at 5.25 there, now 5.50, now 5.75, a 5.75, and a 5.75, you're out on top at 75, and a 75, now 7, a $7, but a 7, but a 7, but a 7, but a 7, it's good even money, don't be appalled. Let's go $7. That's $7, but a 7, 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 yes, that's 25. That's go to her for $7 there. Coach Red gets in at 48.
Yeah, good job,
very,
buddy.
very much. Congratulations there, Jeremiah.
Good job, Jeremiah. Good job, buddy.
This is the best I've ever done on Pig 4-H. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Man, you're welcome. Well, I got your sisters, one of your sisters too. I got Isabel's. What a sweetheart. Well, thank you guys for being so good.
Well, thank you for buying my pig. I really appreciate it.
Man, you're welcome. You look good out there and you smiled. You just did a great job. I was proud of you.
Well, thanks.
So it's awesome.
I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome, buddy. I'm glad I could be a part. Good job. You bet, buddy. We were so thankful that it was raining. It was a welcomed, glorious moment when I woke up Saturday morning and the rain was just pounding on the window. I had to have my windshield wipers on the whole day, the whole way to Orofino. I had my windshield wipers on. I was so thankful. Certainly when you're dealing with damaging, horrific, devastating fires, this rain overnight is a welcome sight. I was really thankful. In fact, it immediately cleared up the air. It immediately made everything. It's just like the oppression just lifted right up. It was incredible. So Chris, you had a close call. I saw you on the news.
Oh yes, yep. We had it was a clover fire when it started. Actually burned up towards my house, then about 300 yards. Burnt right to the back of the neighbor's house. And so during that time, I'm the sheriff obviously, but I'm also the assistant fire chief for Sunnyside Fire, which is where it started, and a homeowner. So I'm wearing 3 hats. Our fire chief was his house was right in the middle of the fire. He was up trying to defend his house. Our number 3 for the fire department, his house, he actually lost a barn, just about lost his house. So he's on the other side of the fire trying to deal with that. So now we've got a small rural fire district, all volunteers, and their houses are the ones threatened. And yet we're still trying to continue. I don't know if you've been up to the fire area at all or not, but there was people we couldn't even get to as far as the deputies couldn't get to evacuate because the wind was blowing so hard. It was 40 miles an hour plus of steady wind. And that fire was just rolling forward. We got across Cavendish and then just kind of kept pushing along. So it was just terrible. And I'm standing there with Glenn Young from CPTPA, the local fire agency, and we're seeing houses burn and watching the fire go. And we have no idea how we're going to stop that because it's just that wind just pushing it. There's no way to do anything to stop that. So we saved a lot of houses. Yes, we lost 13, but there's a lot of houses that were saved because of the volunteers doing the best they could do, even though their own homes and their own barns were threatened and in fact lost.
The communication towers, that wind event came through and knocked down all our towers, and we were trying to get a hold of our dispatch, they were trying to get a hold of us, but there's no communication through the radios. Luckily we were scanning our sheriff frequency and we were hearing stuff going on near Peck. So we were already kind of moving this way, and then our boss called us, had us get a hold of Grangeville on the phone, and then we kind of got pushed squared away, just talking on the phone. We couldn't even use the radios that well that day, so it was just, yeah, it was a crazy day for us for sure. It doesn't take much for something to start taking off, and then you get multiple events like the ones we had a couple weeks ago, and then we got our resources already spread thin, so it makes it that much more difficult for us.
We were able to go up to one of the more severe areas where we lost 13 homes and many more outbuildings and farm equipment, and look at the devastation. And let me tell you, when you're walking through there, you just don't quite understand. To walk on the ground that the fire so recently just annihilated, just scorched everything, to walk there, to realize, wow, this is where someone's life was. This is where someone raised their kids. This is where they rode their horses. This is where they raised goats, and it's gone now. I mean, that's a humbling and sobering thought. I had the opportunity to talk to Rich Hall, who is the captain of the Sunnyside Volunteer Fire Department, and boy, I mean, he was talking about boots on the ground. That guy was right there. He's been right there. He's been with the department for over a dozen years, and he's been experiencing all of this from the get-go. How long did it take you guys to get this under control?
We did not get this entire fire under control. The fire district is a structural fire district here. We do initial attack on wildland fires. When it becomes beyond what we can handle, we have mutual aid with other fire districts, and then an escalation to Clearwater Potlatch Timber Protection Agency, and then the state of Idaho or a federal team comes in and handles the fire at that point. We've worked with the homeowners here to prepare their houses, and those are the houses that we feel more comfortable to set an engine in there because we're familiar with that. We know what we have in there. Some houses we have not been able to prep them a year ahead, 2 years ahead, and have the homeowners maintain that fire-wise preparation. So this is the responsibility of the homeowner to prepare their home if they're living in a wildland urban interface. This is fire country. If you want to live here, you need to protect your own house. Or at least prep it for protection and work with your local fire districts. So when the fire comes through, you will have a seamless effort around your house.
And as I'm talking to Rich, this woman pulls up in a car, and it happened to be Pam Fleming, who had lost her home. Pam Fleming, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm Christy. How long of a warning did you have?
I had probably 7 to 8 minutes to get out. I have burn marks in my car that
No, my gosh.
yeah, I lived in the woods. So everything was on fire. The community coming together like this is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. And it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I got my dogs and my bird in my car.
I see that you do. I see everybody's here. How are you guys? Yeah, well, this is just I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to see you or if I had to mail it, but this is just something to help you at the grocery store. And,
Thank
you know,
so
gosh,
much.
you're
What a
very
blessing.
welcome. You're welcome.
Everybody is really coming together. This community is just amazing. It really is. I just don't know how I would get through it without the kindness and the help of my community.
We went to a house that had burned down that was very similar to the one that I was raised in. And it was like, wow, this could have easily been my home growing up. This could have easily been my family. I still have family and employees who live here. This could have been them. In fact, Cassie and Tim Adams, they were evacuated. And it could have been them. It's just, to say it really hit close to home is an understatement, because this is my home. And so to be right there in the thick of it, to watch and to feel and to smell and to touch firsthand what the devastation was, boy, I don't really want to go through that again. So, Rocky, we're looking around here like it's shocking. And did you think this is it?
Oh yeah, I thought everything was gone. He did a good job. Fire guys did a good job. But I mean, every place is, you go up the road, every place is just like this, you know.
How long did the whole thing last? About a half hour, you said?
Well, I mean, they fought it for a long time. It went up over the hill there. That kind of turned, the wind blew that way. But by the time, 45 minutes, it was already basically gone.
The town of Orofino gave me way more than I gave them. I am so impressed with the way that they would link arms, bind together, and support each other. This is what Orofino is all about. We're still wrapping our arms around this town. We're still gonna love on the families and support the families that lost everything. I'm not done supporting this community. I'm not going anywhere. This is my hometown. You can count me in. You can count Code Red in for future support. We love you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to call Orofino my hometown.